Okay, this is the guitar lesson for Back in Black. It's just going to be rhythm guitar. I'm going to teach Angus and Malcolm's rhythm guitar parts combined. Malcolm's basically playing exactly what Angus is doing for rhythm. The only difference is it's Angus that adds that fill that you hear in the main riff. So let's get started. Before we start, I just want to let you know, if you watch the bass video, a lot of the rhythm techniques I'm doing may come off redundant because for the most part the bass and the guitars are almost simpatico as far as rhythm goes. So having said that, let's get started now. There's a 2-measure guitar intro with the drums. It's a muted string effect, so those last 2 counts, it's just the drums counting off with the hi-hat. Now we have the main riff. I'll play it for you. Those 3 chords there at the beginning are E5, D5, and A5. E5 is open E, and then 2nd frets on the A and D string, so that's notes B and E. So then D5 is open D, 2nd fret on the G string, which is A, and 3rd fret on the B string. There we go. Help if I was playing the right chord. And then we have A5, which is open A, and then 2nd frets on the D and G string. So now that little fill there is 3rd fret on the high E string, open E. You can either just pick that twice, that's 2 16th notes, or make it easier, you can just pull off from the 3rd fret to open E, so either or. And then just the same technique, just 1 string down to B, 3rd fret B, and then open B. And then you're on 2nd fret G string, and you're going to give it about half a bend, pull off to open G, so. There's just the same rhythm technique I taught with the bass, same notes, same fretting techniques. So, and the intro for guitars is for 8 measures. You play that riff twice, you play it again twice, 8 measures for the verse. Now at the chorus. That's A5, just like I showed you. E5, just like I showed you. This one, the next chord is a B5, which is 2nd fret A string, and then 4th frets on the D and G string. Now the next chord, it's a variation of G. I'm not sure I'd have to look it up. I don't really quite remember the chord name for it, but it's 3rd fret E string. You're going to mute the A string, and then open D and G, and then the B and high E string are 3rd frets. So then D, D5, A5. And then you're gonna bend the 3rd fret E string about a 1/4 bend. So. that G variation. In the last eighth note, you're going to play an open A. And then D major. That's different from D5. D major, you're just, it's a D5 like I showed you, with just an added string, the high E 2nd fret. So. There's the chorus. Then it just repeats, verse and chorus. Then the guitar solo, you got E5, just the first two notes, open E and 2nd fret A, so just those two notes. That's a variation of D5. I think it's almost a D5/A. You got open A, open D, and then 2nd fret G string, and then D flat variation, you have a 4th fret A, and then 2nd fret D string. So. And there you're just alternating between E5 and A5. The A5, just like with the E5 in this guitar solo section, it's just the open A and 2nd fret. Just those two notes, unlike the main riff where it's the 3-note chord. And that's the guitar solo. It goes on for 16 measures. Then you repeat the chorus again. Now we have the interlude. It's the same rhythm pattern that I showed you in the bass lesson if you watched that already. Plays for 2 measures, then drums and bass kick in. Plays again for 2 measures, and then you go up to A, same rhythm technique that you're doing with E. As I showed you in the bass lesson, that's where the bass kind of deviates in rhythm from the guitar. The guitar is just playing that same rhythm technique. So you're basically kind of playing the same rhythm and fretting pattern. It's just a string up to A and D string instead of E and A. And just if you haven't seen the bass lesson, it's open E, 5th fret, 4th fret, and 2nd fret A string. Back to the 4th fret A string. And then 3rd fret E string, bend it 1/4 of a bend. 2nd fret to open A. 2nd fret, the 1st fret A string, and then 2nd fret. And you're using that same rhythm and fret technique with A, just a string higher on A and D. Then you repeat the chorus again. And then that's the final chorus. And then we have the outro. There's the 2 measures of just A, A5. And there's that little slide fill Malcolm's doing. It's kind of a muted open E. And then kind of either a pick scrape or just a fret slide from the 10th frets on the E and A string, and then you just repeat the guitar solo section that I showed you in this lesson, and it fades out. So just create a tag. I usually tag it with just that E and A5 alternating riffs, like that. It's a very easy song to play. I wish I could play the solo, but unfortunately I'm not at that level yet, but I'm getting there. So hopefully this was a help to you, and I'll see you in the next video.